Good afternoon. I'm Cindy Bertram, and thanks for joining me today on Good Ship Happens. We've got a lot of really fantastic things going on right now in the travel cruise industry, and one that just came up. I do mention, I think, a lot about how cruise lines will take ships to maybe rescue people, and that just happened again with Carnival Cruise Line. Their Carnival Radiance team actually responded to a call from the U.S. Coast Guard, and they rescued 25 people that were stranded aboard a small boat off the Pacific coast of Mexico on Saturday. And this was actually posted on May 25th. But the Radiance was actually sailing towards Ensenada, Mexico on Saturday afternoon, and the Coast Guard informed them that, informed the officers about a distress call on a small vessel. And the ship immediately was routed towards the location that was provided by the U.S. Coast Guard, and the rescue was quickly completed with all 25 people, including 3 children that were stranded on board that were welcomed on board the Cardinal Radiance. And the team on board the ship, of course, offered to meet any immediate needs with the rescue group, including food, water, medical assistance, and it coordinated a rendezvous with the Coast Guard officials too. And then the Cardinal Radiance had left its home port of Long Beach, California on Friday for a 3-day cruise, and of course the sailing was still on schedule too. But what a wonderful gesture that they do. Once again, people need to realize that the Coast Guard does reach out to cruise lines if they happen to be in the area that maybe people are stranded, and to rescue 25 people is just amazing. And there were, of course, 3 children, of course, too, on this small vessel. So that's really great news, too. So once again, another good example of how good shit happens with cruise lines, too. Something I didn't mention last week, I do want to mention today. But as far as the airline industry, we've got great airlines out there. I'm a big fan of myself of Southwest Airlines, but what happened was Southwest Airlines just lost a really great leader, Colleen Barrett. She had actually president of Southwest Airlines, and she passed away on May 8th, so pretty recently too. But she was an amazing person, and she's got a great story. In fact, she actually communicated with me too. She sent me a letter, and it was just a great thing too. But once again, when she was president, but once again, her beginnings with Southwest Airlines actually began with Herb Kelleher, because once again, Herb Kelleher, actually, what you don't know about him was he was actually an attorney. He came up with the idea of Southwest Airlines and decided to meet with a friend of his, and he mapped it out on a bar napkin in a bar, and they came up with the idea for Southwest Airlines. And what he did was, what happened was he started Southwest Airlines. Of course, Colleen actually worked for him in the legal office, so she went to work for him at the Southwest Airlines, and she's really great as far as her passion for people. And then when Herb moved up being chairman, whatever, she actually became president of Southwest Airlines, and she just passed away recently. But just a great person, and I know just was really sad to hear about her passing away. But she's a great person. I believe she just turned 80 years old. But once again, she had worked, at first been a legal secretary, as mentioned, to Herb Kelleher, and then she became president of Southwest Airlines in 2001 through 2008. And she was actually the first female president of a major airline, too. And she was very much of an influence with the lives of people, of their employees at Southwest Airlines. And I know that with Southwest Airlines, they cultivate their culture as far as their people-first culture when it comes to caring. And Colleen Barrett was actually referred to as their Queen of Hearts. But she actually sent me a letter. I reached out to her when a situation came up. I had to get myself booked on a flight back. Someone came up with my dog. I got on the phone with Southwest Airlines. I was supposed to be taking a cruise after a cruise conference. I called myself. The reservation agent that I spoke with so much helped me too. And I got back that evening. I had to pick up my dog the next day. He wasn't really functioning. I had to put him down, but I was there for him, because I wouldn't let him suffer. But anyway, I sent her a letter in the mail. I mentioned the reservations agent name who helped me so much, and she sent me a beautiful thank you letter back. But to do that when she was busier than anybody else too, that was just really, really phenomenal. That was actually in 2004. But once again, I'm so sorry she's gone. Once again, her legend lives on, and what they did was they've got the Colleen Barrett Institute, which was created in 2021. It honors Colleen's contributions to Southwest Airlines, providing resources to help others people as far as, for example, and also her remarkable impact on organizations in the world too. And they feature timeless learnings from her life, her leadership and legacy, in addition to monthly thought leadership articles too, which is great too. And it's great that her legend lives on too. Once again, I really think with Southwest Airlines, it's that people component they really, really focus on too. They really care about their crew members, their people work there, but also with their passengers too. So once again, she'll be missed, but once again, it's good to kind of recognize her in a really wonderful way too. So, yes. As far as some other things, we've got a lot of good news coming on, of course, in the cruise industry too. I know I mentioned before we have a lot of, they come, like I said, the new babies coming up this year, next year, but cruise ships. But I know that with Celebrity Cruises, their next Edge class series of ships is going to be the Celebrity XL, and it's going to be their 5th ship. It's in their Edge series of ships too, and should be launching in November of 2025 in the Caribbean. And her sister ship is the Celebrity Ascent, which actually did debut last fall. I was actually on the pre-christening cruise. The Celebrity Ascent was great too. So once again, it's good to get excited about new ships coming out even next year. And I know that her inaugural season is going to be from Fort Lauderdale. 7-night itineraries alternating between Bahamas, Mexico, the Cayman Islands, also Puerto Plata, St. Thomas, and St. Martin. And the sailings are actually open right now too. But once again, it's just a new ship coming out not till next year, but the Celebrity XL, and it's XCEL as far as the ship name is actually named too. So it's really fun to think about this too, because it's got like her sister ship. She's got the Retreat, which is an exclusive resort within a resort area for suite guests, and it's highlighted by a 2-story sun deck. Accommodations for people there. They are modern 2-story villas with private plunge pools, staterooms with infinite balconies, and also boundaries between the indoor and outdoor living. Also, it's got an expanded rooftop garden, which I've seen on their other ships. It's gorgeous. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. And they've got their shiny resort deck, which has cantilever float pools, which is fun. Also, they've got their multi-leveled terraced sunset bar. It's really, really fun. I've been there too. And then, of course, Danny Belland, his fine dining restaurant at sea is going to be on board. They'll have different live entertainment activities, nights and during the days at sea. Also, they did redesign their Grand Plaza. It's going to be spanning 3 decks and creating a really airy and open indoor space too, which is great. And of course, it was great to see their Grand Plaza on the Celebrity Ascent. Is gorgeous, unbelievable, just beautiful. Different things to do, and you could see different things too. A lot to explore. And also, they've got the return, of course, of Magic Carpet too. It's a really, really beautiful area. It's actually a cantilever below sea, but it goes up and down. That's actually how people get off the ship too. But also they do too is they got a special area, and guests can actually enjoy cocktails and also having dinner too when the ship is actually sailing, which is great too. So keep that in mind if you get excited about new ships. Well, Celebrity XL is coming out next year, so don't miss out on that one too, okay? Something else that just got announced too is really, really fun things too. I know that with AMA Waterways, they've been around for over 22 years, and they're River Cruise Line. They're founded by really fantastic people. Rudy Schreiner is actually the co-founder and president of AMA Waterways, and he is actually known as the architect of the river cruise industry. He helped create other cruise lines that got into river cruising, which is great too, and then they started this. But what they're doing is they mention they've got some new vessels, 2 new river vessels that are going to be launching in 2026. And for people that really are interested in the destinations, AMA Waterways really fits that so beautifully too, because once again, new river ships and itineraries that are really, I think, tailored to these needs too. And there are two new river ships. They're going to be launching 2026, include the AMA Kalda, and also it joins the AMA Dara on the Mekong River, and also the AMA Sophia, which is going to actually be sailing in Europe's Rhine and Danube rivers too. And the launch date is going to be taking place on May 24th, 2026, and the AMA Sophia will be their 24th ship to actually sail in Europe's most popular rivers, which is great. And the AMA Sophia's inaugural 14-night itinerary, which is actually going to be named the Magnificent Europe, is going to follow the route of kings and queens on its journeys between Amsterdam and Budapest. And also guests can sail on 3 different rivers, which is great, throughout 4 different countries on this immersive exploration experience too. And as mentioned, guests will sail on 3 different rivers, which is great. And of course, what's really great too is these pull in really local culture, history, foods, traditions. Highlights include, of course, guided bike rides through the scenic vineyards and small towns. Also visits to many of the region's local bakeries, which is great too. And also castles and palaces, culinary tours, which I think is fun. I mean, who wouldn't like to take a culinary tour in an actual place in Europe? I think that sounds like so much fun. And also the deep dives into the region's most historic cities too, which is great. And the AMA Sophia will have 31 different departures in 2026 that feature multiple itineraries on the Danube. And a couple they mentioned were the Melodies of the Danube, the Romantic Danube, and also their popular Christmas markets on the Danube. So definitely, once again, too, is people don't think about taking a cruise on Christmas, but I think, maybe think about taking a river cruise over in Europe for Christmas would be fantastic, wouldn't it? So keep it in mind, because they've got, on Waterways, they've got their Christmas markets on the Danube too. And then the I think it's Kea, is going to embark on its first 7-night itinerary on August 3rd of 2026. And guests will be able to explore the cultures of Vietnam and Cambodia while also enjoying regional delicacies too. They've got a wide range of daily included excursion, which is great. Also shipboard entertainment, luxury amenities, and I think it's really fun too. AMA Waterways are really known for their exploration opportunities that include traditional rides, as well as local workshops and also monasteries, a Budapest blessing ceremony, and learning about the region's histories from those who taught many ways, lived it, whatever. And they've got like a 7-night itinerary that's going to be called the Charms of Mekong, also Riches of Mekong. And guests will have a chance to really blend in well-known sites along with back at the behind the beaten path experiences too, and creating memories too, which is great too. And I know with the Kalia, she's going to be doing 22 different sailings in 2026, and then upwards to maybe 38 itineraries in 2027. And of course, land excursions are available in many of the cities, and which is great too. So once again, cruising with AMA Waterways, a bit more about that too. It does include fine dining in multiple venues. They include the chef's table, specialty restaurant, unlimited wine, beer, soft drinks with lunch and dinner, daily sip and sail, cocktail hour with that includes, and also with they got a variety of different small group excursions, including hiking, biking, and also special interest tours. High quality Wi-Fi is included, of course, too, which is great. They've got a wellness program that has a variety of host-led fitness classes, airport transfers, whatever, too. And as mentioned, AMA Waterways is family owned and operated for 22 years, and they really offer, I think, unparalleled river cruise line experiences with 29 custom designed ships sailing Europe's major white rivers, also Southwest Asia's Mekong River. They've got the Egypt's Nile River. Also, the Columbia Magdalena River is going to be starting in 2025. Also, they've got Africa's Chobe River. And it was co-founded by pioneering river cruise line executives Rudy Schreiner, of course, Kristen Carnes, and Jimmy Murphy. And they're really renowned for what they do as far as exclusions, also just bringing a new way to really experience the world in Europe too. So keep that in mind too, because that just came up as far as two new vessels they just mentioned, which is great. And like I said, as mentioned, so definitely keep that in mind too, because I think it's really, really fun too, as far as what cruise lines are doing. And definitely, I think it's a great way to really experience, for instance, Europe in different ways too, because it's a great way to really see Europe in different diverse ways. Plus, what's great too is instead of maybe flying to Europe and getting to a hotel, take a tour, then maybe have to move to another hotel. Usually with tour companies, transportation is included, but once again, you're kind of hopping around different hotels. Whereas with the river cruise lines, especially in Europe, the river cruise line itself, the ship is actually your floating hotel. And they're smaller, really embrace intimacy plus different great shore excursions, different types of tours. It really is a great way to really immerse into seeing those different destinations and cities and not have to worry about unpacking, repacking. But once again, definitely keep that in mind because I'm a lot of ways. And by the way, AMA does mean love. And it's a great option to think about if you're thinking about maybe doing a river cruise over in Europe. And of course, they are starting some things in 2025, as mentioned. The down in I think I mentioned it, but it's going to be down in the South America. They're launching that too, and that's going to come up in 2025 too. So definitely keep that in mind too, because once again, it's just great to think about this too. And there's plenty of time to book out too, which is great too. So keep that in mind. And something else too that is great is you've got cruise lines that are part of bigger parent companies. Okay, for instance, a good example is with Royal Caribbean. Royal Caribbean Group actually has 3 different cruise lines. These include Royal Caribbean Course, Celebrity Cruises, and Silversea. What they just announced this week, which is really great, in fact they announced it yesterday, is each cruise line usually has their own loyalty program, right? So in other words, if you sail in Royal Caribbean, you earn points as far as a loyalty member sailing on so many cruises with Royal Caribbean. Same thing with Celebrity Cruises, Silversea Cruises. All cruise lines have their own loyalty programs, but what they announced yesterday with Royal Caribbean Group is they actually now have each of 3 bands are going to have a new, they call it a status match program, which is great. So in other words, what's great too is members of Royal Caribbean's International Crown Anchor Society, Celebrity Cruises has their Captain's Club, and Silverseas has their Venetian Society will actually reciprocal tier status too, which is great too. So what it does is it does unlock opportunities for people that want to sail on those 50 ships that are within those 3 different cruise line brands to nearly 1,000 destinations across all 7 continents. And they just announced this, so once again, it gives guests, I think, more experiences to think about doing too within the portfolio of their brands at Royal Caribbean Group, which is great. And for instance, a good example is I mentioned one example was I know with the Venetian Society, that's with Silversea Cruises, member that has 250 Venetian Society days, have an upcoming sale, and maybe Celebrity Cruises can enroll into the Celebrity Cruises Captain's Club, which will give them elite status once their loyalty accounts are connected, which is great too. And the good thing is they're doing an automatic status now match for people that are already enrolled in multiple programs too. So once again, if you've got your loyalty membership with Royal Caribbean and you've got your membership with the Celebrity Cruises, what's great too is they're going to automatically match those brands immediately too. And this actually benefits members who have already updated their status and are beginning to sail starting June 5th, which is next week. So definitely keep that in mind too, because I think it's great to think about different things. Because once again, years ago, cruise lines were owned independently. Then we saw a different change with that too when Royal Caribbean bought Celebrity Cruises. That came up, I think, 2001 maybe. And then, of course, we've seen Carnival Corporation buy different cruise lines over the years too. They've got, I think, 6 different cruise lines under Carnival Corporation. But once again, I really think this loyalty match program is really, really exciting. So definitely think about that too. If you've already been taking or sailing with maybe Royal Caribbean, maybe sail with Celebrity Cruises, maybe you're looking at maybe Silversea Cruises, which is their really luxury brand too. But keep in mind too, because once again, it will actually match your status, which is great. And they just announced it this week, which is once again a good example of good ship happens. Yes. Something else that came up too. I know that we talked about cruise islands, private islands too, which is great, and it's a great way to really experience different places. And once again, with the private islands, usually those are owned by the cruise lines themselves. We're sharing more about one, but also I know that Disney Cruise Line just hosted their celebration to open Lookout Cay at Lighthouse Point, and it's actually their new island destination in Eleuthera, which is in the Bahamas, but they just launched that yesterday. That would be fun to share too, because they did a special community celebration too. As far as Lookout Cay, it really reflects a ongoing collaboration between Disney and the Bahamian artists, historians and cultural experts too. And this destiny has really been designed to immerse passengers to the spirit and culture of the Bahamas throughout artistry, architecture, experiences, entertainment performed by local talent, which is great. Also nature trails and beaches. And they mentioned the making of their second island destination, the Bahamas, has really been an incredible collaboration. And they're so proud of the relationships that they built with the community, and also the unique story as far as what they're telling together too. At a special event, the Bahamian officials, community members, and also Disney cast members gathered Thursday at the heart of Disney Lookout Cay, and in front of a really beautiful, I saw pictures, beautifully colored, Junkanoo-inspired Goombay Cultural Center for celebration. And then the program featured remarks from the cruise line's leadership team, also the prime ministers, the deputy minister, and also different people that were from Central and South Nusria Clay Sweetening, which is great too, Sweeting. And of course, guests were also treated to performance by a specially created group of local Junkanoos featuring winning teams of this year's Junior Junkanoo competition from the Tarpon Bay Primary and also Preston Albany High School in Eleuthera in the Bahamas, which is great. And so once again, I think the inclusion of culture at Disney's new destination in Eleuthera is really exemplary, and it was really great too, because once again, the Disney Lookout Cay at Lighthouse Point is a really great example of the investment boom in the Bahamas. And Disney really continues to, I think, have a gold standard with the community. And what's great too is it's actually creating more jobs for people there too, which is great. And it's like, I think, really great too, because it really seems like a great collaboration with the Bahamian creative communities that really create a really great cultural experience in the Bahamas, including South Eleuthera. And I think the entertainment they're offering too, which is great too. And also what's really great too is Disney is actually investing in community youth. To celebrate the opening of Lookout Cay, Disney is investing $1 million to support youth programs, school playground improvements, community space, sports space, in addition to other ongoing initiatives to really support community needs too. And it also This investment includes support from the Disney Conservation Fund for youth education focusing on conservation in Central and South Eleuthera. I think that's just a wonderful, great way to celebrate because, as mentioned, I love private islands myself. They're gorgeous. And what cruise lines are doing there too is it just creates a really, really great ambiance to really experience different cultures in a very safe way, and also be able to relax on the beach. They've got entertainment in this case. The Junkanoo Spirit is great too, and what's great too is when cruising came back after we went through the whole mess with COVID-19, cruise lines actually first started focusing on going back to their own private islands too, just to make sure they met the needs too. But once again, what a great celebration this week for Lookout Cay at Lighthouse Point to actually be opening up too, which is great. I know that another one's coming up too. I'll share about that more in the future. But it's really kind of fun that Kona Cruise Line actually has their own island they're working on right now, and Celebration Key. I think this is going to be opening up next year. I'll share more about that later on too. But once again, it's just great because once again, you've got beautiful places to sail to in the Caribbean, but also they have days at sea. But one thing that I know cruise lines really started doing a long time ago, and that's like a Hooked on Cruising, is they started having their own private islands, which is great too. And this is another beautiful example. Plus, what Kona Cruise Line is doing with Celebration Key coming out next year. And I will provide more updates on that too, so that's really good too. So definitely keep that in mind too. And as far as I think different partnerships and things too, of course, cruise lines do that, which is great. And one thing that I know that what Princess Cruises just mentioned, actually yesterday, again, a lot of good news as of yesterday, is I know Princess Cruises is partnering with Love Line Premium Liquors Collection, and this collaboration with renowned celebrities including Pitbull, Jason Aldean, and also Romero Brito. And this exclusive line of wines and spirits with unparalleled experience are going to be sailing on board, will be on board this ship's within the Love Boat. And it's actually debuting on the Sun Princess. It's called their Love Line Premium Liquors. So keep in mind, Love Line Premium Liquors collection includes selected wines and spirits, each having a unique touch with the celebrity partner too. And it's something that I think guests can really enjoy too. And they mentioned some highlights of this new effort they're doing with these premium liquor collection too. I know they mentioned with Pitbull, they've got Volley 305 vodka by Pitbull, and it really embodies the energy of Miami nightlife, and was created in a partnership with Pitbull. And he's known for Mr. Worldwide. He's a globally recognized musician, entrepreneur, and education advocate. I actually have seen him perform a couple times. He's fantastic. And they've got also they've got this Love Prosecco by Brito, and Romero Brito is actually an artist, and he's also they work with the esteemed winemaker Villa Sandy, and they've created this forces to create this Love Prosecco. I like the name of it, Love Prosecco, right? And it really kind of marries the artistry plus the essence of Italian craftsmanship, and also it's included as far as the dining experience at La Brito, which is on board the Sun Princess. And with the Love Prosecco, it's going to be on board bars across the Princess Fleet too. And another one they mentioned too was actually they got their Red Blend and Cabernet Sauvignon, also their Melrosa Sauvignon Blanc, and that was done by Jason Aldean Melrosa. And what's great too is they partner with music icon Jason Aldean and his sister Casey, and fellow country music entertainer Chuck Wicks, and they've got this Love Line collection, which includes Dirt Rough Anthem, love that, Dirt Rough Anthem, also Burn It Down, and it's just really kind of fun things too. And then of course they've got their Melrosa Sauvignon Blanc, which is a fresh, dry white wine that really promises a really, really wonderful journey too. And like I said, they just announced this great partnership with renowned esteemed celebrities like Pitbull, Jason Aldean, and then Romero Brito to introduce these Love Line Premier liquors. I think that's wonderful too. And guests who are booked on a Princess Premier package can enjoy these premium spirits as part of the beverage options too. And like I said, the Love Line Premium Liquors collection are now available on board the Sun Princess, and they will be available exclusively aboard the Princess Fleet, starting ahead with summer voyages. And it's just really a fun thing to think about too. Love the names and the partnership too. So definitely keep it in mind too. Once again, this is available on the Sun Princess, their newest ship, and it's going to be available starting this summer on their other ships too. So definitely keep it in mind. If you like wine, this is another great way to really, really experience, premium liquors too. Um, Something else is, we talk about theme cruises, and cruise lines do have theme cruises, special groups too. And I know that one thing came up too is Star Clippers. Um, Star Clippers has really been broadening their presence in the United States, which is great. And they've actually been around for more than 30 years. But what they're doing is they just announced some theme cruises, and that Star Clippers is going to be offering this year in 2025. And what's great is they're really kind of tall ship sailing experiences, and they're offering an exceptional lineup of speakers and chefs and fitness instructors as part of their 2024 and 2025 theme cruises calendar too. And in addition to experiencing these great places they go to, they've got exotic ports they go to in the Mediterranean, the Caribbean, and Central America. And on board their authentic Clipper ship, these special theme cruises are offered at no additional cost, and they really give guests on board the opportunity to really learn new skill, work with maybe personal growth, or also continue to reach out on fitness goals while on board the ships too. Once again, these are tall ship sailing cruises too, and it really takes the experience to a new level too, which is great too, especially on a sailing ship because you don't think about that too. And these open air classes take place alongside thousands of a fleet of, billowing sails, and also a different port for the backdrop every day too. And these theme cruises in 2024 and 2025 will feature a different variety of yoga itineraries in the Med and also Caribbean on board all three of their ships. Star Clipper is going to also have theme cruises focusing on photography and food and wine. And then for more than 30 years, as mentioned, Star Clippers has been introducing travelers to a thrill of modern tall ship sailing to remote ports, which is great too. They can go to remote ports that maybe big cruise ships can't go to. So definitely keep Star Clippers in mind. And I had a chance to meet their new president. She's great. I met her last year at Sea Trade Cruise Global Conference. Also, I think maybe Cruise World, but great. I also met their senior vice president of sales too. So, like I said, Sea Cloud is just another maybe cruise line to think about too, because they are tall ship cruise ships too, which is great.
Sounds like some amazing trips once again and everything.
Right.
But I saw something that was quite interesting that I had never thought about. And then again, I haven't been to Australia, but I was wondering if you had ever thought about this. But apparently, in the Grand Barrier Reef, which is over there in Australia, they have actually found something that I know that is done in the United States, but they have combined them. So they have this combined helicopter and cruise package that is going on in Australia. So you can go there and you can go on a 25-minute helicopter flight, and then there's snorkeling and other things. And then there is, of course, the cruise itself, which includes a buffet lunch, including prawn and other things. But they have blended the two together. And I've also seen that there were some just here in the United States, some different types of helicopter uh, trips, but they were not necessarily cruises and everything. So I saw the Grand Canyon has a 45-minute trip, and then there is one that is over Vegas, and there's definitely one over Kauai, which I believe, if I remember correctly, is over there and around
Mm-hmm.
Hawaii and all along those lines. And there's been one that's over the Volcanoes National Park Safari and West Maui, which is definitely in Hawaii. So I know back in the day, I used to watch, and I still watch reruns of Magnum PI. And he had his
Oh
friend that was
yes,
a
yes.
helicopter pilot. As a matter of fact, there's even one that is called the Magnum PI Used 500 four-passenger doors-off helicopter. So I guess it's kind of like
Oh my
based
God.
on the whole that notion of what was going on with that particular TV series. And there's also a New York helicopter tour as well. But when I saw the one in Australia that actually blended, and I'm sure we might even have them in the U.S. as well, that blended the cruise with the helicopter trip, I was going like, I wonder if Cindy's ever done anything like that, or if she'd consider doing anything like that, because helicopter rides seem like they would be fun, but they also could be very much uh, hazardous. And I know that you got to make sure that you got your sea legs together and your air legs together if you're going to go on those trips and everything. But I was just wondering, since you've done a lot of trips, if you've ever gone on a helicopter ride that was affiliated with a cruise, because I did see that that was something that they were doing in the down under space of Australia. Because that was
Right.
one that was being offered on, looks like Cairns and the Tropical North is what they were calling it and everything. But I was just wondering if that was anything you had explored or thought about doing.
Thought about doing it actually. The first helicopter trip I did, kind of fun. I was at a cruise conference. It was actually thinking maybe in Miami, but it was back in the 1990s, and we had a chance to do a helicopter, small helicopter ride, but it was over, Port Miami.
Oh well.
It was fun. I mean, it was a short trip, maybe 15, 20 minutes, but it was a good way to kind of see the views of Port Miami back then, which of course expanded like crazy now, but it's good to see that area too. And it was about 15, 20 minutes, and they offered that as an option for us to do during the conference, which is great. One thing too I know people do too is another helicopter tour, which I'd like to do too, is they do those in Alaska too. I had a friend that I knew some people that did that. They loved it. But I think that would be phenomenal. I mean, the point is, what's great about helicopters is they're closer. It's not like take a flight. I take flights. I get window seats. I take pictures from my flight. So I've taken a lot of pictures when I'm flying, like to San Juan, Puerto Rico,
Mhm.
Miami, Fort Lauderdale, up, like I said, to Alaska. It's great. Well, actually, with going to Seattle, wherever too, you can see some. But it was great to kind of see the views. But I think a helicopter, you get a better view of what's really going on because you're
And
closer.
apparently they've got some rules and regulations as well because it says that the total weight per passenger is 287. So I guess you got to be a certain weight, and if you're over that weight, then they guess you can't do it. And unfortunately, it is not wheelchair accessible, which makes sense
Right.
because it's a helicopter and they've got rules around the children because apparently children 3 years and above are legally required to be seated in their own seat and are therefore required to pay the full ticket price. And of course, it's subject to conditions because children under 3 years may travel free of charge when seated on a parent or guardian's lap. So they definitely have these rules in this particular trip in Australia, and including some cancellation rules. So it says for a full refund, you had to cancel at least 24 hours before the experience start time. If you cancel less than 24 hours before the experience start time, the amount you paid will not be refunded, and all changes made less than 24 hours before the experience start time will not be accepted. And they also said cutoff times are based on the experience's local time, and of course, the experience requires good weather. So if it's canceled due to poor weather, you'll be offered a different date or a full refund. So it looks like they are kind of prepared to deal with that and all along those lines. But like I said, it does look like it's one of the cruise companies that's based there in Australia as well as one of the helicopters. So it looks like they have come up with a joint venture and all in that space. It sounds like it could be quite interesting and quite fun.
Yes.
So I might have to do some more research on the
Right.
what's going on in Australia and how they combine those two. But I just thought I'd ask you about that really quickly.
No, that is a good question because once again, talking about regulations. Well, the friends that I met on this Alaskan cruise back in 1997 was my friend Mike Durnell came with his parents. He's the one that was a double amputee accident victim. The one that
Yep.
got hit. He was hit by a woman that fell asleep in her car. She fell asleep in a car, hit him head on. He's on a motorcycle, had the leather jacket and helmet on, but he lost his right arm, left his right leg above the knee, but he survived it. He's very athletic, whatever. But he was going back to school, finish his degree in business, and they took him on. His parents took him on this cruise to Alaska, or how I met him, because they're from California. But the one thing they did, they were they were the people that actually did that helicopter tour in Alaska, and he was able to, of course, get into the helicopter, mind you, with one leg and one arm.
Wow.
he did it. Of course, he was an adult. He was in college at the time. Maybe it might have been maybe 20 at the time, but just the photographs they shared one night looked beautiful. I thought, oh my gosh, I want to do this sometime too.
Yeah,
Because
and
once
they
again,
do
we
have a
need better
number,
views.
like the
Uh-huh.
800 number, 888-651-9785. And even what they said is, see the natural wonders that is the Great Barrier Reef, various angles on this
Yes.
combined helicopter and
Oh,
cruise package deal. Fly to the outer reef on a helicopter, enjoy the sea view from above, and seeing the reef from a unique perspective. After landing, spend more than 2 hours at the reef platform where you can snorkel, view the reef from a semi submersible, and learn about the reef's biodiversity. And you can be amazed because apparently the helicopter flight is only 25 minutes. I think they said the entire trip is 3 to 5 hours. And they've also got snorkels, lycra suits, buoyancy vests, and flotation noodles that are provided in a buffet lunch. Like I said earlier, that's included. That includes the prawn as well. So apparently there's even a presentation that they do as well. So it looks like this could be a fun thing. Of course, I might help if I actually swim. So I don't know that I'll be
don't
going on that
swim?
trip. So that wouldn't
Don't
be an
swim?
issue with me and everything. But
You
I'm
don't
going to turn
swim?
it back over to you. You got a video you want to show at the end, but
Yes,
that was just
yes.
something that crossed my desk that I was like, I got to ask Cindy about this.
Yes, yes. But yes, so that's good too. I mean, I learned how to swim as a kid. I love swimming in pools. We had an above ground pool finally, but I love swimming. Although the funny thing is, confession time, I've never been in a ship pool. I like the saunas, whatever that kind of stuff too. Just haven't. I like in the ocean. I mean, but being by the pools on the cruise ships really relaxed me too. I love seeing the water too. But what's good too is we've got some great things going on. I want to share more about this too, because once again, with MSC Cruises, they've got their private out island. It's called MSC, their Ocean Key MSC Marine Reserve, and it's great. I've mentioned this before, but it's a great story. What they did was the company, their family owned, of course, too, and with the family, they actually have the Ponte family actually has their container shipping company. That's where the company started out first years and years ago, hundreds of years ago. They got into starting MSC Cruises, and then they got into Luxury Cruise Line Explorer Journeys last year, launched their new ship, the Explorer 1. Explorer 2 is coming out this year, and they've got their foundation. And the foundation is one they partner with Dr. Sylvie Earles. But what's great too is when I got a chance to see their Ocean Cam Marine Reserve, I'd actually been there for the christening of one of their ships back in 2021. It was beautiful. What they did was the family actually had leased the island from the Bahamian government for 100 years. They paid $100 million. The island was trashed, and what happened was they spent $400 million to get that island back up in shape. The sea life was dead. The trees were dead. They had to tow away 1,500 tons of scrap metal. But when I got a chance to see it for the christening cruise, it was unbelievable. I've written about it before too, but actually see it was gorgeous because what they did was they had different things they were doing there too. But once again, they just decided to do some updates on it. When I was there for the christening, they actually did a sand cutting because they're going to be building a marine lab there too. That's part of their efforts as far as sustainability too. And what they've done is they did close the island to do some updates on it and just reopen it um, on May 22nd. I need to get more updates on that too. What they did was they did a lot of great guest enhancements, and this included the addition of different excursion centers for water sports and island tours, also a dedicated diving and snorkeling center, also new dining options for guests to enjoy too, and also they've also got under construction the MSC Foundation's Marine Conservation Center, which is a base for coral experts and biologists and students too. And so the island just reopened up now. I haven't really seen anything about it yet, but I will provide more updates later too. But it's just great because it's a beautiful island to go to, and it's great because they've got actually different beaches. They got the Marine Reserve, which includes different beaches. They include Lighthouse Bay, the Sunset Beach. They've got their Paradise Sands Beach, South Beach, Bimini Beach, North Beach, and Ocean House Beach. And also they've got diverse areas too. They've got the Lighthouse, which is great. They've got their beach cabanas. They've got the spa now. They've got their beach cabanas too, which is on the north side of the island. Plus, they've got their Seekers Family Cove, which is for entertainment, but different things like that too. And I can't wait to see it. But once again, they just started sailing back now with all their ships, which is great. And I know that what they did announce too, just recently too, once again this week was actually Secrets has record number of ships that are going to be home ported and based in the U.S. now for winter of 2025 through 2026 season 2. And so keep them in mind too, but like I said, with their ships that sail from U.S. ports, now most of them do actually go to Ocean Cay MSC Marine Reserve. And I've got a video to share right now at the end of my episode. But thank you so much for joining me on Good Ship Happens. And when I get more updates, of course, on what they've done with real pictures with Ocean Cay MSC Marine Reserve, I will be able to show them in a future episode. But once again, let's take a look at the video I found with Ocean Cay MSC Marine Reserve so you can better see what it's like too.